watching the Youth Dialogue, and I am your host, Jenna Basanko. In this episode, we have Youth of the Month, who is Salimatu Fati, the founder of Salimatu Foundation for Education. The reason why we recognize every month one young person to come to the show and talk to us about what you do is because we feel that young people, when motivated, tend to do more, and surely when they're motivated they do more. So that is why we came up with this monthly recognition for one young person, and this month it happens to be Salimatu Fati. Let's take a look at Salimatu's biography. When we return, we have her in the studio. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Salimatu Fati was born and raised in the Gambia. She is an activist for quality education and gender equality. Salimatu started her schooling at Karawan Nursery School in North Bank Division of the Gambia. She completed her primary education at Latrikunda Sabiji Primary School and proceeded to Abuko Upper Basic School. Salimatu completed her basic education at SOS Hammond Minor Technical Senior Secondary School. She studied Gender and Development at Management Development Institute and currently studying law at the University of the Gambia. Salimatu started her advocacy work at the age of 13 in her junior school, but was actively engaged in the activism after completion of her secondary education, and that is when she understands deeper about humanitarian work. She founded a charitable foundation that advocates for quality education and gender equality for all, called Salimatu Foundation for Education. The foundation has registered numerous achievements since its inception, and some of the achievements are as follows: sponsoring 6 children's education from street selling, conducted at least 10 community outreaches, mentored 41 teen girls on self-esteem, self-actualization and career path, donated and offered lots of educational support and materials to schools and students. Salimatu served as Global Youth Advocate at Global Partnership for Education from June 2017 to February 2019. She is currently part of the Youth Advisory Council of United Nations Girls Education Initiative. Her key achievements: listed as 40 Outstanding Young Leaders Peace Ambassadors by European Commission through One Young World in 2019. Listed in 2017 as 100 Most Influential Young African by African Youth Award, African Woman of the Day by MTV Ghana on 3rd March 2017. Nominee, African Youth Advocate of the Year by African Youth Award in December 2016. President Obama's Young African Leaders Initiative Yali RLC, Alumni Ghana 2016. Girl of the Month by Girls Prize Circle International Nigeria in September 2016. Awardee, African Leadership Award by Independent Pan-African Youth Parliament in 2016. Young Personality of the Month by Young People in the Media Gambia in March 2016. Global Youth Ambassador by a World at School from 2014 to 2017. Salimatu has represented and attended several conferences and meetings in Africa, Asia, America, Europe, and United Kingdom on humanitarian issues. As young people doing extremely well, Salimatu is an inspiration to all.
Welcome back, viewers, from that short break. Like I mentioned in the introduction, our Youth of the Month for this month is Salimatu Fati. She is the founder of Salimatu Foundation for Education, and we are so happy to have you here. And one thing I observe, it's been a while since we have a woman as our Youth of the Month. So having you here, well, we had the Bakari Fatis, we had the David Jengs and more. I think we only had Musubako Tosaho as our Youth of the Month when it comes to yoga. So it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for accepting our invitation. So first of all, let's talk about what motivated you to start this foundation, because way back I used to hear about the Salimatu Foundation for Education. Let's say when I was in high school. So
really?
Yes.
Wow.
So to me, it's about sustainability, how you know, you are able to sustain this. So first of all, talk to us about what motivated it, and then we can go down to the sustainability aspects.
Okay. So actually, I started the Salimatu Foundation back in 2015, and what really motivated me, it's about my personal story and the story of my mom. Because my mom was a victim of forced marriage. And personally, I grew up from like economic disadvantaged family, so getting education was really, really difficult for my siblings and I. So because of the personal story and what we went through actually motivated me to start a charitable foundation to help the other young people not to go through the same thing that we went through. Okay, so how are you helping them? Currently, how we are helping kids in the foundation? Actually, we have series of lots of programs in the foundation. We have community outreaches, and community outreach is more, we're looking at the perspective of community people. You know, what do you think about the education, and as well to talk to the elders about leaving their girl and leaving the female and the boy child to have, you know, the household responsibility, let it be shared among, because what we have realized in our education system is girls usually tend to have more domestic chores than the boy, and when it's come to assignment, you would realize that guys do not even have the time to do you know, most of the assignments. So that's the reason. So at the community level, we'll try to advocate for that kind of thing. And another way also, we are currently sponsoring 6 children. These children, they were from the street before, begging somewhere, selling, and then we look for sponsors outside, and now they're currently pursuing their education, which you know, is a plus. And another thing also, we do a mentorship program, and the mentorship program is called Teen Girls Mentorship Program. And the mentorship program is geared to help the young girls to develop on their self-esteem, self-actualization, and as well as career path. And usually we also engage people online to gather their views on how we can achieve quality education for all. So you talked about the fact that you go for community outreaches. So talk to us about these community outreaches. When you go to do this, what do these parents think about education? What is their mentality? So first of all, you know, looking at our education system, you know, we have a common entrance in our education system before, and it's not there anymore. So hence the purpose of the outreach is also to gather information about what the village, the people at the community level, what they think about our education system and how we can improve it. So we had a lot of comments and recommendations from the community leaders that they have to bring back the common entrance, you know, in our education system. And also, you know, their perspective of our education system is more of like, the education system is not really helping the children. For the fact that whether you pass, you don't pass, they still, you know, the fast track. You just have to go, the fast track initiative. And that's something that they talk about, and they're really against, you know, of it. And also about the teachers and the parents. You know, we have some teachers in our education system, sometimes they would be dating students in the sense. It's a big concern. It's a very, very big concern. And the parents, they raise issues like that. You know, some we are bringing some personal experience between their daughters and the school administration and with the teachers, and the ministry is not doing something about all this kind of thing. So, you know, there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of issues on the table. I think the issue of dating teachers and students, I think it's unbearable. And it's unbearable. And the fact that it's still happening. I can remember when I was going to school, it used to happen. It used to happen. At our time, I think that happens to everybody. We used to say, oh, this person is with this person. And it used to be so normal, you know, because at some point, nothing came out of it. So it became normal into our eyes. And then we felt like we can do it too. So like you said, I don't know what the ministry is doing, but I hope some of the officials are watching. And if they are watching, these are the recommendations from your own outreach, that this is happening in schools, and parents think that enough has not been done. So we think they should take a step in relation to this. I think if a teacher does that, the teacher needs to be expelled from school. Because if you can date your student, not only expelled, but the person have to be charged at least with something, because that's definitely undone. It's very undone, and these young girls are extremely vulnerable. You can use marks, you can use money to actually put them into these things. So I think it's crazy. And you talked about 6 children that used to be street beggars. How did it happen? Because I know with child issues sometimes it's a bit complicated to actually get them sponsored or get them from the streets. So how did it happen? Well, actually it was tough. It was really tough at the beginning, because some parents, they were at some point they were even insulting us. You know, they were telling us actually that we are teaching them how to raise their kids, and we are too young for that. And at some point, like some children, we have to really go to their house, talk to their parents for them to allow them to go to school. But you know, but if you looked at it another way around again, Geneva, basic education is compulsory for all.
Yeah,
you get it. But at least we don't have that legal thing that can really make sure children are going to school. Yeah. So actually, it was tough, but parents really understand at some point, because we were able to have lots of dialogue with them to tell them about the importance of education, the importance of allowing their girl child to go to school, and as well as we were also looking at the personal, you know, story experience, especially mine, because I was doing the petty trading as well. So most of the time I try to use my personal story to try to motivate them a lot, so they can allow the children to go to school. So that's how we really guided them.
I'm taking it to a personal level. You talked about the fact that the reason why you started this foundation is what you had to go through. So how was that experience, and how did you overcome it?
Well, actually, it wasn't easy for the fact that I wasn't getting let's say the childhood experience like other children. You know, other children, they're lucky from school, they will have to do their assignment, they have to do some readings. You know, I don't have opportunities for all that. So usually what I do after school is like I'm at the garage selling, or I'm in the street selling. So it was really not okay. But my mom, it's actually a very, very strong woman. You know, she's actually one of the reasons that was empowered me or motivated me to advocate more for gender equality. And she has been so much encouraging. She always encouraged us a lot. Despite the fact that we were doing our petty trading and she does not have formal education, that didn't stop her from forcing us to go for, you know, some extra classes as well, so we can post it. So she was so supportive and so motivating to our educational journey. So how did that affect your performance in school, the fact that you used to sell? Although I know Salimatu used to be a smart person going to school, but how did it affect? Actually, I mean, it's not only you. Let me just say that maybe everybody, let me say the whole world, I'm really that smart, you know, academically. But it really affected me academically, especially I can very remember in my grade 9, it affected me a lot. You know, and I had to have that kind of push and pull with my mom. So when I got to high school, I told my mom, you know what, it's high time for me to stop this, because I definitely need time to focus more on my grade 12. I don't want what happened in grade 9 to repeat itself again. And at some point, she was a bit difficult because she was trying to tell me from the family background, you know, we have to help each other. If you don't do this, who's else going to do this and stuff like that. But I told her everything has a time. And at this moment, hence we are a bit, you know, economically a bit okay. So I think it's okay for me to leave what is not, you know, improving on my education side. So it was not really an easy decision, leaving something that you have been doing since your childhood. But it affected my performance at school actually badly.
So which means parents who are watching right now, if you do send your child out there in the streets to sell, it is affecting your child's education, know it or not. And you have to tell a person for that person to tell another person.
So and I think especially like if they don't have parents to support them at home. Because mine, it affected me at school educational level. But psychology, the reason why it didn't affect me at home most of the time is because my mom was supportive. So the parents watching, even though they are allowing their children to go to the street and sell, but they have to give them the motivation at home. So
but Salimatu, I think even asking your child to go and sell outside is a no-no.
You say no-no?
It's a no-no, because we have these rapists all around. We have people who take advantage of children. So basically, asking your child to sell out there is a no-no. Allow your child to sit at home and read and pass. Sometimes I say, it's bad to say this, but sometimes I say it's an investment. When you struggle for your child, allow your child to have that education. It's an investment, because at the end of the day, you are not educated. That child is going to be educated. You don't know what that child might become in the future. That child might be the next Bill Gates. I mean, the next Mohammed Jah. You never know. So at some point, we have to allow our children to go and learn. Let us make the sacrifices as parents. Let's go and sell till midnight and invest in our children. So looking at yourself right now, Salimatu, give me a reflection. This is what you've been through. Now you're here. I mean, at least doing it big with the foundation, and you're doing more things. How do you feel?
Well, I feel really humble. I feel really humble, and I feel really motivated, you know, to do more. Because if I'm not standing here today, or if my foundation is not this big, then which means I'm not, the motivation will not be there.
Yeah.
And I will still feel like my mom's motivation is like waste, or I can feel like I was a loser and all, but I didn't think all that. So I'm like, I really feel so humble, so delighted.
You should feel that way. Like what people say, I mean, sometimes when you have a journey, it has to start somewhere. And look at you now. I think, I mean, I told you when I was in high school, I used to hear about the Salimatu Foundation, and then here you are now. It's big, and you are having this mentorship program. So concerning the mentorship program, talk to us about that. I know you had your graduation ceremony recently. So talk to us, how was the graduation ceremony?
Well, the graduation ceremony was actually fantastic because the girls were able to demonstrate some of the things that they have learned during the mentorship session. And the mentorship session hence is there to help them boost on their self-esteem, self-actualization, and as well as career path. What we also tend to do is we talk to them like a sisters, like sisters,
like some kind of counseling.
Some kind of counseling, because just what you just said in your last statement, every journey, you know, it starts somewhere. And some of these young girls, especially when they graduate from high school, or when they are just at high school, they just want to be that kind of famous person in the world, and without even getting or knowing the struggle that the person went through. So we try to inculcate this kind of realities on their minds.
Important.
You know, to make sure that they have to start somewhere if they want to reach a certain level.
Interacting with the girls, what difficulties do you see that affects them most? Because I know you interact with a lot of girls. Tell me few difficulties interacting with them. What are some of the difficulties you think those girls had to go through?
You know, most of the thing I realized from most of the guys that I have mentored is about their personal issues. This affects them a lot. Home, lot of these guys are going through a lot of trauma back home. And you know what, we just have to be realistic. This is Gambia for us. Usually when a girl reaches a grade 12 or just completed grade 12, most of the parents do not give them the support that they need anymore. And they will have the intention to further their education, especially when they even fail their exams. You know, they try to judge them, they try to tell them, you know, you can't do it in life anymore. So most of the issues that I have seen that is really affecting them is some of the things that they, you know, face back home. Because it's like a gathering of people from different backgrounds. From different backgrounds. And so when each and everyone is talking about their own issue, you can feel somebody else, you know, is being so calm and so dull.
Then which means that person is relating to
this party is related. So it's like they're all related to, you know, what other person is actually going through. And it's also served as a more, because some believe that their issue is worst. And when they hear this other story, they believe that, their life is good. So,
So which means you guys have sessions whereby everybody sits together and
we sit like a circle.
And
like we invite people to share their stories, and at some point I just have like 1 hour discussion with them, and then we will have the guests to come and share their stories with them about the challenges that they face and stuff, like how they make it to their career, and some of the advice that they really have for the girls.
So the girls, when it comes to career, how is it with them? Because nowadays you talk to a girl and the girl, what do you want to be? What do you want to study? Oh, I want to be a journalist because I see this person is a journalist. Or I want to be a lawyer because this person is a lawyer. It's not really what they possess as a young person. So when it comes to career problems, career choices, how is it for those girls?
So something about me is I observe people a lot. So during the mentorship program, I try to put that skills in front as well. So I tried to look at them, some of the things that they're good at. Like there were 2 or 3 girls that I disturbed a lot during the mentorship program. And I have to even clarify that at the graduation, I told them the reason why I was doing, or I was even being harsh on them. Because I have seen like lots of qualities in them that they cannot even see. And if someone is not there to really guide them or not a little bit strict on them, they might just use it wastely and stuff like that. So when it's come to career, I try to look at this angle as well, some of the skills that they are really good at. So we also discuss with them about different kind of careers available. And after the mentorship program, some of them they think, you know, a bit wider, because at least we try to invite especially female mechanics and all to really motivate them.
Are they interested in skill? Do you have some there that are interested in skill?
By next year, inshallah, January, we will start profiling the mentees, all the things that they are up to now.
Okay.
And some of our mentees are now doing some of the job called "This is a Man."
Okay.
You know, dominated. Like, I feel delighted when I actually see them on their uniform.
Yeah.
You know, they are doing this men's job that people term as men job.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. So they have that kind of thing in them. And I remember one parent was telling me, anytime my girls come home, she was like, I want to do this. And if the mom said, no, you can't do this, this job is for men. It was like, no, that's not what Salimatu said.
Yeah.
Salimatu said, no, we can all do, you know, all that.
Yeah.
So it's really helping them a lot. And after the mentorship program, they were able to make some decision, especially regarding their career. They don't want to look at anybody anymore.
Yeah.
If they want to be a mechanic, they don't mind if people are going to call them your feet.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
They don't mind
and
if people are going to
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they have the kind of boldness in them.
Yeah, it seems their self-esteem has gone to another level.
Exactly. Yeah. And during the because at the beginning of the mentorship program, we asked them about the careers that they want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the mentorship program, you realize that some people, they will change. I have had a lot of girls coming to the mentorship program and say they want to be a journalist, they want to be a lawyer. And we took them to court.
Yeah.
They followed the court proceeding, and after then they said, it's not for me.
Okay.
I think I'm better than this other place. You know,
yeah. And it's good that you guys are exposing them to reality.
Yeah, not only talking, but we take them to places so they can see how it really works.
Okay, that is important.
Yeah.
So how can one be part of this mentorship? When is it going to open again?
The mentorship is annual basis, so it's going to open next year. The application actually is going to open next year around May.
May, next year in May. And you have criteria selection?
Yes, we have criteria
what are some
selection.
Of the criteria?
You have to be in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be in high school. Because every year we try to, because we started back in 2018.
Yeah.
So every year we learn a lot.
Okay.
And so by next year we might try to introduce some criteria as well.
Okay.
But for now is you have to be 18 girls, you have to be in high school.
Okay, you have to be in high school. Okay, so now let's talk about parents. I mean, do you get to send consent letters and all that for parents to accept that their children can participate? How does it work? Because sometimes it's difficult for parents to have their children to participate in these activities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can just use this platform to tell parents that it's clean, you know, it's nothing. Sometimes it's difficult. Yeah.
So actually what we do with parents is, once the girls are applying, because they apply online, so they will have to provide the contact details of their parents.
Yeah.
And after, we will have to call with the people that make it to the final stage.
Yeah.
We will have to call all of their parents, introduce ourselves, and then call them for a meeting while explain the programs to them.
I think
and by then we will have to discuss with the girls, not physically but through online.
Yeah.
We explain to them about how the program is all about.
Yeah.
And they will have to let their parents know about the program. So when we call the parents, it's easier. So that we meet with the parents physically. We have meeting with them. We explain the program in the detail as well.
Okay.
So we have something like a consent form.
Okay.
We explain the consent form in a language that they can understand.
Okay.
And then they can sign it.
Okay.
So from there, during the mentorship program as well, we sometimes keep in contact with them.
Yeah, I think it's important. That is interesting. So funding, let's talk about funding. Where does the funding come from? Because when young people come here, I try to hold them accountable sometimes with funding and spending. So where does the funding come from?
Yeah, so actually the funding at the foundation most of the time is from the philanthropists, most of the individual level. Yeah, so next year we are looking forward to more of the groundwork.
Okay, so which means it's just philanthropists that cannot be revealed at some point?
Yeah, most of them do not want their identity to come out in public.
Okay, so most of them do not want.
I know my family, I have like a couple of my families that support her, like my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Okay, they
some
do.
Some of them are actually sponsoring some children even in the foundation.
So there is no official partnership to say that UN, UNICEF or something is helping Salimatu. There's not
yet.
Okay, not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think Salimatu should be given a chance in relation to that. I think, yeah, that is very important. But Salimatu, most of the time I hear people say that young people start organizations and foundations for money. What's your take on that? Most of the time, you know, when some of you guys come here, I tend to ask that question because I hear that a lot. The young people, dangen buga halis, because FGM, dangen buga tuki, FGM halis before fula neka legi, human rights fula halis bineka, so you people get into that. So what's your take on that?
Yes, so I'm not going to say this because I'm the founder of an organization. I just have to be real. what I think, if you see people are saying certain things, there must be at least an element of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So which means Salimatu accepts that some people do that.
Some people, yes. Okay. I have to accept that.
Okay.
Because I interacted with some people. I interacted with some people that want to initiate foundation organization. And if I tell them, why do you want to do this? You know, because you're traveling, I also want to travel. I was like, but why can you set up something like that? Like, I set up the thing for a reason.
Yeah.
I was going through something, and I don't want other children to go through the same thing.
Okay.
So that's why I'm trying to bring up a change. But if you establish your foundation and just let it be like that, if you travel, then who's going to control it for you?
Yeah.
So at that point, I will not say it's not 100% true. At some point, it's true.
Okay. So you're saying that it does happen?
It does happen. Okay. It's not for everybody. Some people actually establish their foundation with the clear intention that they want to create a positive change in the lives of people. And some people's intentions are not genuine.
Okay, so that is sad. It's sad to know that young people do put foundations together in the name of the money or in the name of traveling. I mean, you don't need to have a foundation to travel. Exactly. Why travel even? That's the question.
Why
travel?
Why would you go? If you go there, what do you have to do?
Yeah, what are you going to represent? What identity? I always say this here. We can take it in the Gambia. Well, there's no problem to go for your training, go for a conference that is genuine and come back. We need to do those things. Yeah, capacity building is important.
And even with that, because most of the time I get questions like, why do you get the opportunity to travel a lot? And I explain to people, like, my travel, if you looked at my travel, even most of my social media, you don't usually see me post my picture with a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
You know, I do mail a lot of celebrities in conferences.
Yeah.
You get it. But if I go to conferences,
your main focus,
I try to focus on the reason why I'm there.
Yeah.
And I try to make sure that something comes out of that conference.
Exactly.
Not like just have to go for the sake of you there to represent your country.
Yeah.
So I told her, because of my participation during that particular conference, that's why most of the time I don't even apply for conferences anymore. Most of the time I get invitation to travel.
Automatically.
Yeah.
When you travel once, you perform, you get another invitation.
Just like the one young world is very, very competitive. Like, if you ask anybody who knows that the application is so competitive. And when I attended it last year, and then this year I was invited again to go as, you know, I was facilitated an education event during there. So the thing is not only about you go take a picture and representing Gambia, but if you go there, what's the outcome?
Exactly.
And if you come back, what change does that going to make in your country and in your organization and you personally as well?
Yeah.
They have to consider all this. Everything is not about traveling, you go and come, but what positive impact is that coming out from your travel?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You traveled, if you did not perform properly and create an impact when you were back, you weren't going to get the invitation to go back there. So we should just avoid the traveling for traveling's sake. But
not to even focus on traveling. Let's focus on work. That is
it's a focus for some it's a focus for some reason. Like I said before, it's not bad, but let's do it properly. Let it be genuine. Let's not hunt travels that will not benefit us and personally, and it cannot have another impact. When you travel, the impact must be seen. If it's not seen, then it's not important. I mean, and it's a problem. Even locally, it happens. Workshops.
Yes.
I was having a conversation with Lala Toure some time back. She was right here. And she talked about the fact that people go to workshops a lot. We organize workshops on gender-based violence. We organize workshops on this, on that. And people receive their per diems. And at the end of the day, what is the outcome?
And per diem is one of the things that, you know, I'm not saying it's not bad. It's good at some point. We just have to agree. But the fact that sometimes even the people that are organizing conference, they have to look at the people that are coming to that conference. Yeah. What would be the intention? And most of the time, even conferences, they don't usually follow back about what is some of the things that you are doing. Yeah. You know, and that's something that I'm not really in support of. Exactly. If you invite people to come and attend for the workshop, you have the funding for it. Yes, it's fine. But make sure, let it be people that will support your cause, that are going to speak up, but not there for the sake of the money, because I had the like, hey, let's just go and attend this course as long as they're going to pay us.
Exactly. So it's a big deal out there. So now let's talk about, I mean, you're the founder for the Salimatu Foundation.
Yes.
If you are the Minister of Education today, tell me some of the changes that you register. What are some of the successes that you would want to see in the education system in the Gambia? Yeah. If today it is said that Salimatu is the Minister of Education in the Gambia.
Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to look at the equality, between private and public schools.
Private and public.
Yes. Yeah. There are a lot of inequality between public and private schools. And even, for example, I'm not going to say commercial vehicle, because but if you interact with private students and as well as public students, if they are together, you can realize that the public students, their self-esteem is always low once they are in the midst of people from private schools. So that kind of thing has to be changed. It has to be equality between public and private school. It does not mean that anyone who goes to public school, the person cannot perform well, or the person
it's not written anywhere.
Like through my school career, I've been to public school except my high school, which was private. So I gathered like a lot of experience between the public and private. And the second thing also is to look at the quality of our education.
I think access is not a problem anymore.
No, access is not a problem. And it's a problem at some bit, but not, I think Gambia has really improved on access to education. I think what is more like is the quality of education. Building school is not enough. Looked at the kind of teachers that you are bringing to that school, teachers that are going to teach the student, not only to teach the students, but also to have discussion with the students. Most of the public schools do not have counseling, do not have counseling in, So if I become a minister, that I'm not sometimes even think about it, but it's important like we have counseling in our schools, because most of the children go through a lot of stress, whether we know it or not. There are a lot of children out there today, when they explain their story, you looked at them, their age, and the thing that they are going through at home is really so heartbroken. So we supposed to have a counseling department, not counseling department whereby the person would be a lecturer at the same time.
No, a special person.
A special person that would be there to counsel and guide the children, and that children can also come and talk to them without fairness. We don't need a strict people whereby children cannot even feel comfortable to talk to you. So that angle also, it's important. Like we looked at it, and as well as let's look at the higher education system. I think I even sent my comment regarding the new constitution regarding that. We also have access to this, but let's look at affordability. The University of the Gambia is an example. Tuition fee, for example, a law, like let's say 42,000 per year. How many civil servants can raise the money if you have a children that is going to school? So there are a lot of young people struggling even with that. Some people, if you don't have a support to help you finance your education at the university, it's really difficult for you to proceed, for you to go. We have seen some people that spend like 6 years at the 4 years program,
but they cannot pay at all.
They cannot. And as well as children on the street, that is something that we should not really joke about. Children that are selling on the street, especially if you go to the beach area, you will see children selling there, and sometimes they will be selling till at 8, which is not done. So it's not going to be fair. And if for example, like me being the minister, I have to make sure no children is seen on the street during the school hours. Never. And even the child apprentice, it has to like cut off. All children have to go to school. It does not matter whether they have to go to English or Arabic school, but they have to learn. They have to learn is their basic education. And as well as not also not only about children go to school, but make sure we try to review our curriculum as well. Let's teach our children that if they grow, they will be able to think for themselves. They will, other people will not think for them. They will think independently, because the education system will have to provide them. And currently, our education system is not teaching our kids to think for themselves. People have to think for them. There are a lot of things, but
I'm very happy you talked about public-private. I mean, I've been to public school my whole life, from primary school to high school. I went to Nusrat, we went to all of these schools. But at the end of the day, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's not a big deal, but it's just the mentality, public-private, and that difference between, and it's the kids' mentality sometimes when it comes to their interactions. So I think that is important.
It's happened in the mentorship. I think the first batch of the mentorship program, it happened during the mentorship. I had like public and private. And I tried to make emphasis on that. Here, you are all equal.
Exactly.
Whether
There's
you're from private or private, I don't care. You just have to be equally here because it's the mentorship program. So I don't even care which school you're from. So,
I think the upper class and the average, it doesn't matter. What matters is at the end of the day what you become as a person.
Exactly.
The judgment is now. The judgment is when you go to university, finish and have a career. When going to school, private or public should not really count. I think it's just mentality.
Yeah, that has to be changed.
As time goes on. Thank you so much, Salimatu, for coming to the show. We really appreciate it. I wish we had more time to talk more. So please give us your final words before we leave here.
Okay, so final words.
Yes,
from the show.
Final
word from the show. So actually, I would just have to say thank you so much to QTV for allowing me to speak up about what I do. It really means a lot to me and my foundation as well. And another thing also is the message to the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education that they should not really joke about the education of our children. The thing is not about building school. The thing is not about you coming to public, tell us this is what we have done. You know, it's much more than that. We want to see work. We want to see real change. And we don't also want to see change only in KMC and Banjul region, but we want to see it even in the provinces. So children anywhere they are, they can have access to quality education for all. Our children deserve that, Allah.
Thank you so much, Salimatu, for coming. So I visited some of your mentees. I spoke to them about your activities with them, and they are so delighted. I have interviews of that. I also interviewed Ibrahim Sabali and more people that you've worked with or know you. So we will take a look at that interview. When we return, the show continues.
My name is Fatmata Pifofana. Salimatu is an amazing lady. She's one of the most amazing youths out there. I met her last year during the Mentorship Program. I was actually among the first batch of the Teen Girls Mentorship Program, and she has been an inspiration in my life. I couldn't ask for a better mentor because she exposed me to a whole lot of people who shared their experiences with me, and she has molded me into a better person today. So she's one of the best out there.
I started working with Salimatu Fati in 2017 in Salimatu Foundation for Education, first as a volunteer. So our work starts from that end, and then later in 2018 I served as a program officer in the same foundation. So to give you the background, and then I also work with her in series of projects, projects that are beyond safe as well, like for United Nations Girls Education Initiative, and also United Nations Steering Committee on Education, and equally on the International Visitors Program, Leadership and Youth Empowerment in North Bank. So, but what I know about Salimatu is a young woman that is so passionate about education and then also changing the lives of young Gambians that are into education.
I am Mariama Conte, a mentee of Salimatu Foundation for Education 2.0, the second batch. Salimatu Foundation is an amazing lady, very humble and down to earth. She is willing to help young girls without getting paid from the government. She is sacrificing everything she has so that young girls can be successful. We can have successful leaders in our country. Through the help of Salimatu Foundation for Education, I am able to express my feeling. I know the type of person I am, and I can go everywhere and talk. I am very proud of her.
It feels really good. Like I said, when it comes to molding your mind, when it comes to preparing the youth for the future, there is no better person than her, because she has the snapshot of the way the way today's youth think. So I think she really deserves the award, and yeah, that's it, because she's really an amazing woman, and then it's really nice working with her.
Another thing that I know about her is she's so dedicated and then goal-oriented, because I can remember this year when we co-host the Teen Girls Mentorship Program. When things get tough, she'll be like, you know what, we can do this. And then that motivation keeps moving me forward. And then I can remember she used to call me even at late night. We'll be like, Ibrahim, you know what, but I know things are not easy, but then we can push it forward. So this and many other things, including her vision for education in our society. Because as a young woman that is into education and in women empowerment in the Gambia, she envisioned a lot of programs for education, because currently in SAFE, we had our meeting, and then we discussed about a lot of things, including the changing the strategy for a civic society organization in the Gambia that includes SAFE. And then among the things that we envision for the Gambia, that she herself, originated that idea is like, we are going to change the entire advocacy system. We are going to start with SAFE. But what we want to do, that is, because when people are volunteering with you, they need some kind of motivation. And then as a humanist, and then someone that is humanitarian in nature, like Salimatu, so we discussed this idea, and I think this is something that is brilliant for organizations in the Gambia, that is to be project-oriented. Like, for instance, if you want to design a project on women empowerment in the rural Gambia, how do you mobilize funds to be able to also motivate your volunteers to be able to deliver and then in an efficient and effective manner? So these are things that we envision for education in the country. But aside from that, Salimatu is somebody that is into gender and education, because I can remember when we had a Teen Girls Mentorship Program, this idea, but then she brought it to the foundation and it was accepted. But this is changing the lives of thousands of young Gambians in this country. I can remember when I posted the pictures of Teen Girls Mentorship Program, a lot of young girls will be like, Sabal, you know what, I want to be a part of this program. So as a program that is enticing a lot of young people, and then we have to remember who initiated that program. It was her. Though it was a teamwork that, gave that success, but then we have to recognize as an individual that she is doing well for our country and then for the society.
And one special thing about her is that she doesn't accept nepotism. Despite her cousin is in the Teen Girl Mentorship Program, she treats everyone fairly and equally. And she's a very good lady, nice to work with, and she teach me how to accept criticism. Despite sometimes I didn't know how to control my feelings and how to accept criticism, but through the Salimatu Foundation for Education, I have learned to control my emotions and how to accept criticisms as well.
Congratulations, Salimatu Fathi, and I know this is a well-deserved Youth of the Month, and then you deserve it. Gambia must recognize your potential and then what you're doing for the society. Congrats.
Viewers, that is all we have for you in this edition of the Youth Dialogue. But just to remind you that this outfit is provided by Alima's Creation. She's right there in Bakau. Walk there. Her numbers are right in front of the screen. Take it, call her. She'll provide you an outfit as nice as this or even better. I feel so comfortable in it, and it seems you can take it to different places. Don't forget to connect with us on our different social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Tell us your comments. Give us your recommendations. We will surely pen them down, if not even implement them. Till I come your way next week with other young people doing extremely well across the country. Stay tuned.